This episode is based on true terrifying tales from Indian villages. You might think that the silence of a village offers peace. The silence in some villages is strange. It feels as if something is buried beneath that quiet, as if something is hiding, waiting. It's a presence that doesn't always reveal itself, but it injects a cold fear straight into your veins. Story 1, The Devouring Well. My name is Vijay. This isn't a story I heard from someone else. It is something I felt. I cannot tell you the district, but this village, Nimbewadi, sits right at the edge of a famous city. It is small, ancient, and mysterious. Surrounded by mountains and farms, it feels cut off from the world. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was working for a construction company. I was sent to Nimbewadi for a site visit. I was living a bachelor's life in Pune back then, and I thought this trip would be a nice getaway. The company had a small site office there, and right next to it was a tea shop. Every evening after work, I would go there for tea. That's where I met Surbhai. She worked at the shop, a local girl, quiet but sharp. Over time, we became friends. As she got comfortable, she told me a secret that still makes my soul shiver. She asked me, "Brother, do you know there is a well behind our village? The locals are terrified of it." I laughed. "A well? What's scary about a well?" She looked serious. "This isn't a normal well. The villagers call it the swallowing well." Her seriousness silenced me. The atmosphere of that village was indeed odd. During the day, everything was normal. But the moment the sun set, the streets became deserted. No children played outside, doors were bolted shut. An unknown terror hung over the village. Surbhai then told me about her childhood. When she was in the 6th grade, a shadow of death fell over the village. In just 1 month, 5 people died. A woman, 2 girls, and 2 boys, they all jumped into that well. Police investigations concluded they were suicides or accidents, but the villagers knew the truth. They believed something in that well pulled people and hypnotized them. Surbhai told me, "Once you go there, you don't come back, and if you do, you aren't the same person anymore." She told me about a poor family living next door to her. A husband, a wife, and 2 kids. Girl about 10 years old and a boy about 5. One afternoon, the boy was playing and his ball rolled toward the well. He chased it. His sister saw him standing at the edge of the well, staring into the deep water as if someone was calling him. She ran and dragged him back. But after that day, the boy changed. He became silent. His eyes turned cold. His voice became heavy like an adult's. One night, the terror truly began. The mother woke up to a knocking sound. She saw a shadow near the door, first tall, then shrinking to the size of a child. She got up and saw her son standing at the door. She went to grab him, but suddenly she heard a voice from behind her. "Mom!" She turned around. Her son was fast asleep in his bed. She looked back at the door. No one was there, just a chilling laughter echoing from the darkness outside. From that day on, the boy stopped eating. He would sit in dark corners, his eyes glowing red in the dark. One night, his mother tried to comfort him, stroking his head. Suddenly, the 5-year-old grabbed her wrist with the crushing strength of a grown man. He looked at her, his teeth grinding like an animal, and shouted in a distorted voice, not his own, but a woman's voice. He screamed in the local dialect, "How dare you touch my body? How dare you?" The family was terrified. They realized this wasn't mental illness, it was possession. They took him to a spiritual healer. Healer confirmed their worst fears. There are 2 spirits fighting for his body, a woman and a man. The healer gave them sacred ash, basm, and warned them never to leave the boy alone. For days, the mother stayed home, applying the ash, keeping watch. The boy seemed to calm down. Thinking the worst was over, the mother eventually had to go back to work in the fields. She left the boy in the care of his 10-year-old sister. Everything was fine until they heard a truck honking on the road nearby. Suddenly, the boy stood up. He broke into a run straight for the highway. His sister chased him, screaming his name, but he didn't stop. He reached the edge of the road and turned to look at her one last time. His eyes had that same red glow. He gave her a terrifying, twisted smile and threw himself in front of the speeding truck. The villagers said the well had claimed another sacrifice. That night, after hearing the story, I couldn't sleep. I went for a walk and looked toward the direction of the well. I swear I saw faint smoke rising from it and shadowy figures dancing around the rim. I transferred out of that village soon after. But I learned one thing: some wells are never empty. They are hungry. Story 2, The Forbidden Feast. Our second story takes place in the Konkan region, a coastal area known for thick jungles and winding roads. The village is called Sawardegaon. For centuries, this village has had one strict rule: never eat meat inside the farm fields. The elders call it the curse of the soil. Outsiders call it superstition, but the locals know better. My uncle Gopal lived there. He was hardworking but skeptical of these old rules. He would often work late in the fields, watering the crops until midnight. He knew the rule, no non-veg food in the fields, but he didn't really believe in ghosts. One day, it was his friend Rohit's birthday. Rohit, a city boy visiting the village, insisted on a party in the fields. He wanted chicken and mutton. Gopal tried to stop him, warning him about the village taboo, but peer pressure won. They set up a table near the farm hut. They drank, they ate meat. Gopal, hesitant, only ate a little bit of bread, but the damage was done. After the party, the friends left. Gopal stayed behind to clean up the bones and leftovers so his family wouldn't find out. He buried the waste in a pit and went to sleep in the farm hut. In the middle of the night, he woke up. The atmosphere had changed. The air was freezing. The dogs in the distance were barking frantically. Then he heard it, a sound, not a human cry, but a strange mixture of sobbing and gasping. Gopal stepped out of the hut. He stepped on something wet. Looked down, the soil was covered in a layer of dark, sticky blood. He looked up at the path leading to the jungle. Something was dragging itself toward him. It was a creature. But it looked wrong. It had no skin. It was just raw, red flesh and muscle. It had long, matted hair on its head, but the rest of its body was skinned alive. It moved with a sickening, crunching sound like breaking bones. Gopal was paralyzed. The thing crawled closer. It had no eyes, just empty. Black sockets filled with darkness. It stopped 5 feet away from him. It tried to smile, but without skin, it was just a gruesome baring of teeth. It was a silent message. You broke the rule. Now you pay. The smell hit him then, the stench of rotting meat and old blood. The creature raised a hand. It wasn't a hand. It was a skeletal claw draped in dripping flesh. It reached for Gopal. Just as it was about to touch him, Gopal's vision blurred. He felt a massive shove against his chest, and he blacked out. His family found him the next morning, unconscious near the hut. When he woke up in the hospital, his father told him, "We saw the bones near the hut. We know what you did. You are lucky to be alive." Gopal never entered the fields again. He moved to the city. But to this day, he feels that the creature is still there, buried beneath the soil, waiting for the next person to break the rule. Story 3. The Buried Curse. This final story comes from a village called Ghodepada. This is the story of my childhood friend, Rahul, and his family. Rahul's family was wealthy. They had acres of land, cattle, and a massive house. His father, Shivaji, was a respected farmer. His mother, Manjula, was a kind, hard-working woman. But one Sunday, Rahul called me in a panic. "You have to come," he said. "Mom is sick. The doctors can't explain it." I knew a little about Vastu Shastra, the ancient science of home energy, so he thought I could help. When I reached their house, the air felt heavy, suffocating. Manjula auntie was lying in bed. Her skin was pale, covered in strange rashes and lesions. Her skin was literally peeling off. The room smelled of decay, like a dead animal. She couldn't tolerate sunlight, so the curtains were drawn tight. Doctors treated it as a rare skin disease, but every time she came back from the hospital to the village, the symptoms would return violently. A village elder pulled Rahul's father aside. "Shivaji," he said, "this isn't a disease. Someone is jealous of your success. Someone has done Karni, black magic, on your family." Desperate, they called a man named Bala Jadhav. He was an Ajha, a man who specializes in removing curses. Bala Jadhav arrived with a bag containing a coconut, black incense, and herbs. Walked around the house, using the coconut as a dowsing rod to detect negative energy. He stopped near an old, unused bathroom behind the house. The coconut in his hand began to vibrate violently. The incense he placed on the ground flared up on its own. "It's here," Bala said. "Whatever is killing your wife is buried right here." They dug up the floor. First, they found mud, then wet soil, and finally a plastic bundle. Inside was a black cloth, and inside that was a doll made of white cloth. It was covered in matted hair. Pins were stabbed all over its body. There was a lemon that had rotted black. The stench was unbearable. Bala Jadhav looked at the doll and said, "As this doll rots, your wife's body is rotting." That night, they performed a ritual to destroy the curse. They threw the doll into a holy fire. The terrifying part? At the exact moment the doll caught fire in the field, inside the house, Manjula auntie's body began to contort. She screamed in pain, thrashing on the floor as if she was the one burning. When the doll finally turned to ash, she collapsed, unconscious but peaceful. The Ajha warned them, "This was done by someone from your own bloodline, someone who visits this house." Rahul realized then, his aunt, his father's younger brother's wife, had been acting strangely. She was jealous of their wealth and had stopped visiting suddenly. Family gathered everyone and issued a strict warning without naming names. The message was received. The strange events stopped. Over the next 3 months, Manjula auntie recovered completely. Those were 3 true stories from the hidden corners of India. Which one scared you the most? The hungry well, the skinless guardian of the fields, or the doll buried in the backyard? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed these stories, please like and subscribe. Until the next episode, stay safe and beware the silence.